take care of this. My name is Toph Beifong, and I'll need 4 tickets.
Earth, a stubborn element. It's about holding your ground, facing your problems head on, and being confident in your own abilities. Even if most of us don't think it, we all have some semblance of confidence in ourselves. We all have something that we're exceptionally good at, and as a result, something that we are confident in doing. Something that gives us confidence in ourselves, our own abilities. Unfortunately, due to a slew of societal and personal circumstances, most people are either too confident in themselves or not confident enough, both of which can be very detrimental. Very few have mastered the perfect balance of confidence, much like Toph Beifong.
And look, I didn't ask you to help unload my stuff. I'm carrying my own weight.
Toph was born into and raised by the wealthy Beifong family. Due to her blindness, her parents were very overprotective and pampered her for her entire life, which she resented them for. Despite her disability and the way she was raised, Toph learned earthbending from badger moles and secretly partook in earthbending fighting tournaments and became exceptionally good at it. As she started to get better and better at earthbending, eventually winning many fights, Toph found that her true calling in life was earthbending, and this is what gave her confidence. However, due to not being exposed to much of the world other than what her parents allowed her, Toph became very overconfident. She had done nothing but win in the earthbending tournaments, so in the world that she knew all her life, she was the best, and that mindset carried over to her after she left home. Up until she joined Team Avatar, Toph was never given the opportunity to be independent, and after leaving home and joining the team, she became determined to prove that she could take care of herself. For her entire life, she was pitied and treated differently from everyone else due to her blindness, so she took any opportunity to do things by herself and would refuse help from others. Toph was confident that she could take care of herself, so any attempt by anyone to try and help her was seen as pity and was met with her brash attitude. Both her limited worldview and refusal to be looked down on by others contributed to Toph's tenacity, but as she continued to travel with Team Avatar, she took numerous blows to her pride that caused her to rethink her life and eventually brought her to this state of balanced confidence in herself.
People see me and think I'm weak. They want to take care of me, but I can take care of myself by myself.
Toph never doubted her own abilities. In fact, she is very consciously aware of what she is and isn't capable of, such as her unmatched earthbending or her subpar reading skills, and because she knows herself and her limits so well, she is able to talk tough and still back it up, as she does numerous times. Unlike Sokka, whose confidence came from a place of personal insecurity and feelings of worthlessness, Toph's tenacious tendencies came from knowing that she wasn't helpless and wanting to show that to those who pitied her. The difference is that Sokka's struggle came from how he viewed himself, while Toph's was more about how she wanted others to view her in terms of her abilities. She typically didn't have a problem with what other people thought of her as long as they didn't think she was weak. If someone did think she was weak or provoked her or her friends, would be what sets her off, but because she understood her limits, she only acted when she knew she could win. Toph learned that the only thing holding her back was that she cared about whether or not people perceive her as weak, so she let go of that part of herself to reach her fullest potential.
Toph, come on, it's just ice!
Actually, I'm gonna stay on my little island where I can see. Ah! Okay, I'm coming!
If you too want to become confident like Toph, the first thing you need to do is know your limits. If there's something that you think you can't do, try it, and after a few attempts you legitimately can't do it, then know that that is your limit. But don't let that stop you. In fact, let that inspire you. Whether it's something that you are exceptional at or something you're horrible at, you need to realize that there are no limits. Toph understands that limits were meant to be broken. For example, she knows that she's no good off land, so she avoids air and water when she can't see, but ends up taking down an air raid, doing things she didn't know she could. On the other hand, she's so good at earthbending that she invented a whole new style in metal bending to push her limits further than before. It's easy to fail and be done with it, and in some instances, this is okay. That's not to say you should give up so easily, quite the contrary. Rather, don't let your trivial failures that have nothing to do with your goals get to you and keep you from achieving them. Toph experiences this after failing to save Appa. She felt guilt, but didn't dwell on it. Instead, she kept her head high and focused on the next step in her journey, because she knew that there was nothing she could do about it. What happened has happened, so don't let your failures define your mental state. Toph does this, and it's how she stays confident without going overboard, as remembering her failures keeps her from getting too cocky. As we discussed with Sokka, the only perception of yourself that matters is your own, and Toph realizes this. It's not that she only cares about herself, but she realized that what other people think shouldn't hinder her own personal progress, but instead push her forward. You shouldn't strive to be better to show them what for or to prove everyone wrong, but to reassure yourself that everyone else's opinion means nothing to you. The only opinion that matters to Toph is her own, and that is what makes her confident.
I'm not looking for anyone's approval. I know who I am.
Confidence is a hard thing to consciously try and gain, and an even harder thing to keep. For many of us, any confidence we have can be easily blown away due to a single, simple action, but much like a rock, and certainly much like Toph, you have to be rigid, tough, and stubborn. The Rock doesn't focus on the past or the future, only the here and the now, and doesn't take anything from anybody. Be The Rock. Be like Toph, and you too can become strong and confident.